And you're in the right place to get all up to date on what's been going on this 2022 midterm election night. Thanks for joining us here in Fox 4. I'm Chris Earl.
And I'm Nadine Yanis. And it is clear it is a huge night for Republicans across our state. Florida, not just red, ruby red tonight. And we will start with the top seat in the state, and that is Governor Ron DeSantis, clearly winning a second term tonight. Up 19 percentage points at last check, and that's been the common theme. Just going through some of the other ones quickly, though. Senator Marco Rubio going back for a third term. He was up by 17% at last check. And we're also seeing 4 of the state races for Southwest Florida for House. All of those easy victories. All 4 of those congressmen getting at least 61% of the vote to return to the U.S. House. And even for the administration in Tallahassee, a clean sweep there for Republicans. Absolutely. We're talking the Attorney General, the Agriculture Commissioner, CFO, all Republicans tonight. The entire Florida cabinet, Republicans. They will all now be advising Governor Ron DeSantis, and that's where we bring in our Capitol reporter, Forrest Saunders. He actually joins us live from Tampa, where the governor was hosting his watch party tonight. Forrest.
Well, guys, just about an hour ago, Governor Ron DeSantis wrapped up his victory speech, and it was a packed crowd. We're talking about hundreds of people out here. I would say the biggest surprise of the night was actually the cloud of confetti that shot up from the stage once he concluded things. But that is just about a summary of what we expected. I mean, coming into tonight, there was an expectation that Governor DeSantis was going to have a pretty solid victory. But he actually exceeded some expectations, not only getting a double digit, which is something we haven't seen since 2002 when Jeb Bush was reelected as governor of the state of Florida, but he was able to take some counties like Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade is a traditionally blue county. It has not flipped since 2002 when Jeb Bush was getting reelected, and so this was a big achievement, and we're talking about nearly 20 points. That's a big margin of victory. Governor, he attributed it to a number of things when he came out during his victory speech, but one of them was all of the new folks that have moved to Florida and decided to vote red. Take a listen.
People have come here because our policies work. Leadership matters. We refuse to use polls and put our finger in the wind. Leaders don't follow, they lead. We set out a vision. We executed on that vision, and we produced historic results. And the people of this state have responded in record fashion.
So obviously this was a very big night for Governor Ron DeSantis, and now he has the future to look forward to. And what does that look like? Does that mean a potential 2024 presidential run? Well, a lot of the people who are analyzing tonight's race say that large margin of victory is going to help him out if he does want to move forward and pursue a bid for the White House, because it shows that he can win big swing states like Florida, although I think a lot of people are questioning whether or not Florida is in fact a swing state after tonight, guys.
Great question there, Forrest. I wanted to stick with you for a second. You were just hinting on the future for Governor Ron DeSantis, all the talks of 2024. He ended his victory speech saying, "I have only begun to fight." We heard the crowd chanting something. It sounded like 2 more years. What was the crowd like tonight?
That was exactly what some in the crowd were chanting, 2 more years, 2 more years, and that's because obviously 2024 would mean that he'd vacate that term and potentially run for the White House. It's going to put him on a collision course with former President Donald Trump. We have heard him tease a possible future presidential run, maybe as early as announcing next week in Mar-a-Lago on Tuesday, so that's something we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But there are obviously a lot of people who are out in the crowd tonight who are big DeSantis supporters, and they would like to see what he has done for the state of Florida, as they say, move to the national level. So there's a lot of excitement about the possibility, but DeSantis has stuff he has to do here first. I mean, we're talking about a possible special session that could come up with a lot more on property insurance and maybe some other policy. We'll have to wait and see what happens in December on that. We've got another storm bearing down on the state. He's going to have to deal with that. And then we got the next legislative session, and that gavels in March. He's going to have a lot on the agenda there, potentially further restrictions on abortions. That's at least what Democrats have been warning about, guys.
Crist, thank you so much from Governor Ron DeSantis' victory camp tonight. Well, let's go ahead and go to his challenger. Charlie Crist defeated tonight. Eric Waxler is live in Pinellas County tonight. Hey, Eric.
Yeah, the mood much different here in St. Petersburg. This was where Charlie Crist was holding his watch party. His supporters were here, hundreds of them, but the party did not last long. Charlie Crist made his concession speech at 8:30 this evening, only lasted about 2 minutes. He thanked all of his supporters, of course. He did wish Governor Ron DeSantis well and thanked him for a good campaign. And let's hear a little more of what Charlie Crist said in his very brief concession speech.
Thank all of you. I really do. And I want to thank Florida. Florida has been great to me my entire life. And I can't thank all of my fellow Floridians for so much for so long. And it's been an absolute blessing to serve as your governor before, to serve as the congressman from my hometown. I feel like the most blessed man ever.
Yeah, and people in Florida, of course, have been so used to having Charlie Crist in some sort of political office for decades. What his future holds, we do not know, but you might have noticed he was joined on stage by his fiancée, Chelsea, and he did say that now we can get married, so we know that is coming at some point in the near future for Charlie Crist. Live in St. Petersburg, Eric Waxler, back to you.